ladies. Today, we're going to be reviewing Rise of the Tomb Raider from 2016, which was developed by Crystal Dynamics and published by Square Enix, who also did the last game as well. So, it's a direct sequel to Tomb Raider 2013, which was a good game, and I didn't know anything about this trilogy, so I'm new to this, and I'm gonna be doing Shadow of the Tomb Raider soon as well after this. So if you like this, then you should watch that. But yeah, we're gonna be reviewing Rise of the Tomb Raider, and it's gonna be really radical and funky. That's right. I just winked at you. Do you feel special? You'd better. Just kidding. I think. Anyways, without all that all the way, let the feature presentation commence!
Awesome reviews, epic gameplay, hip and trendy gaming, epic tips that don't exist, amazing criticism on video games, quirky shirt, and a whole lot of coolness.
And me for that lunatic rave earlier, but that just happens sometimes, so forgive me for that. But now that tangent is done, let's talk about how this review is going to work. So we're going to have 3 sections, have DLC, story, and gameplay. Basically, it's just going to be straight to the point with some funny bits, if you call this funny. I don't know, but yeah, if you don't want spoilers, just skip ahead or something. There'll be a time stamp on the screen, so yeah, that'll be pretty funky. Anyways, let's go. Rise of the Tomb Raider from 2013 starts off in Syria, where Lara Croft, who after the events of the Yamatai incident from the first game, is like, oh, I must follow my goal of becoming a Tomb Raider and be like my father, who was also a Tomb Raider, right? Something like that. But it's just basically looking for this divine source, which is giving people immortality, and there's this massive temple in Syria, which has information about her, and Lara's dad was also looking for that as well, so she's kind of like continuing the legacy. So she goes to the temple. It's like a massive ancient ruin, and she goes in, and everything's like, oh yes, I'm going on an adventure, woohoo! And then all of a sudden, she's like, wait, what's that? And then there's like these big henchmen military dudes called Trinity, which is like, basically, it's like this ancient organization that's been running since the olden days, which has been like shadowy organization, and it's basic also looking for the source of immortality so it can use it for its like evil gains and build its own army. So anyways, Lara finds the thing, and it tells her to go to like Siberia, which is in the mountains. So yeah, so she goes to Siberia, and she's like, woo, Siberia! And then all of a sudden, she's climbing up a mountain with her good buddy Jonah, the him from the first game. All of a sudden, massive avalanche. So she falls off the mountain, gets separated from Jonah, and starts looking for the divine source by herself. Along the way, she meets 2 natives, Sophia and Jacob. Now, Jacob seems friendly while Sophia is a bit rude. Turns out Sophia is actually Jacob's daughter, and they get friends later on in the game, and they're, ooh, wow, we're such good friends, Sophia. Oh, I'm good friends with you, Lara. Anyways, Jacob, he's dead friendly with Lara, and he's like, ooh, you're thinking, oh, there's definitely something wrong with them, and there is something wrong with them, but it's not that bad. So yeah, there's an like abandoned Soviet base because the Soviets were inside like that part of Siberia before, and basically you explore Siberia and you meet Konstantin, which is he's the leader of the Trinity organization, which is the shadowy guys from Syria. So you meet him, and it turns out that she's like, I don't know, stepmother. I don't know what the name of it is, but she is like Konstantin's sister. So turns out that Anna, who is Laura's stepmother thingy, is actually working with Konstantin in Trinity. However, Konstantin has an ulterior motive because he wants to use it for his own game, so he can save Anna because she's ill. She's got like an illness that's slowly killing her. So, but Laura doesn't know that. But basically, they end up Laura finds this out, and eventually they gets put in jail, and he escapes with Jacob. She escapes with Jacob, and they escape, and it's woo, yeah, action, whoa, guns, die, boom. Anyways, she comes to the village with the natives. Oh, I forgot to mention, Jacob and Sophia are natives of the Siberia, and they've been protecting the divine source, but Laura wants it for herself, and like Jacob and Sophia are like, well, you are doing the kind of the wrong thing, but you're helping us, so we're just gonna like let it slide, but not really. Like, we're gonna like question you morally and like guilt trip you. Anyways, she comes to the village and she meets the villagers, and you go, oh yeah, woohoo, boom, bingo. So she goes to the village, and she goes to destroy some towers, and when she comes back, Trinity have attacked the village because the natives are trying to stop them from getting the divine source. So Laura says, oh well, this is terrible, and I'm so amazing and cool, I'm just gonna help you because I'm nice like that. So she helps them, and they're like, oh well, since you helped us, you can go look for the divine source. So there's this thing called the Atlas, which is under this cathedral, but it's got like these ancient like immortal warriors. But in the warriors, they had the divine source, so they were immortal. So every time they died, they come back. Anyways, along the way, she contacts Jonah on a radio device, and turns out he's actually alive from the avalanche. So they meet up, they find the Atlas. The Atlas works, and now they know where the divine source is. However, Jonah gets kidnapped, and Jacob it turns out he was basically, in the legends of the natives, there's this prophet of Katesh, and Jacob is the prophet. So he had immortality, and no one knew this, but basically he used it to look after his people and so and so. So anyways, he tells Laura this, and he says, oh, okay, cool. So can I go looking for it? She says, oh yeah, sure. So Laura first goes on a mission to rescue Jonah. Yeah, big Jonah with the afro. Beefcake with a heart of gold. And they rescue him, and they go to the secret tomb of it's like a hidden lost city, like El Dorado or something, but it's in Siberia. So she finds the divine source, but then she's like, oh, this power is too great, no one can have it. So she destroys it, and like Konstantin has a helicopter fight, and it turns out Anna actually killed Laura's dad, and it's the end, and we all live happily ever after. and I'm inspired to become a Tomb Raider. Wee! Whoa! So cool. So, yeah, Laura is happy and just chilling out with Jonah, hanging out, doing some investigation stuff, and the credits roll, and there's a post-credit scene where it's 3 weeks before the bit where Laura and Jonah are in the mansion, and Anna gets assassinated because yeah, that sums up the story pretty much. I mean, there's side stuff, but it doesn't really matter. Anyways, here comes the DLC because you can just skip ahead past the DLC and watch the gameplay. So yeah. Anyways, boom. Wow, that story was so dramatic. So let's tone it down and chill out in the Croft Manor. Ooh, aristocratic. So yeah, the DLC is basically it's like Resident Evil except without the zombies and not as fun, and it's kind of boring. So basically, it's like set before the it's like set in between the events in Syria and Siberia, and she's in the mansion, and she's basically looking for this document that proves to her uncle that she can legally own Croft Manor, because he's kind of like, oh, I want to take the mansion from you. Ah, I'm so aristocratic, and yes. So she has to go hunting, and on the hunting across the Croft Manor, and along the way she's like finding all these secrets and rediscovering her childhood. Oh, so emotional. So she finds like secret artifacts and into vaults, and there's stuff in the vaults, and the puzzles are fun, but other than that, it's pretty just meh, I guess. I really don't know what much to say other than there's just things in it that happen. Look, I wouldn't recommend buying it if you've got the base game, but if you have the deluxe edition, then just play it because it's more content. But if you don't have it, don't buy it because it's... Wow, that was complicated. So for yous unenlightened and aren't interested in the story and deep mythos of this deep universe of betrayal and whatnot, we got the gameplay. Is it good? Yes. Is it unique? No. It's like, oh, well, the combat was good. It was good in the first game. So what if we just do that, but just like add a couple of new things in? It's pretty much got the same skill system. It's got the same upgrade system. And it's just got the same like the combat, the aiming. They have added new arrow types like poison, explosive, and there's these climbing arrows which you can use for climbing on walls. You like aim them, and then they're a bit like rope arrows, but they're for wooden walls. So really, there isn't much to the gameplay that's being added. You can get equipment which kind of serves as a new skill tree, you could say, except it doesn't feed off skill points. Instead, it feeds off like materials and hunting items, which actually that does increase within this game compared to the first one. But it's not a big deal because that just naturally upgrades as you go. So it's not like you need to go specifically hunting, if you get what I'm saying. But good gameplay. If you like the first game, you'll like it. If you like action games, you'll like it. But like other than that, it's not that deep. It's just like shoot, sneak, and survive. It should be a model for the game. See, full of good ideas. I think, please. So thanks for watching this video. I really liked the first game and it was good. The second game, maybe, I don't think it's as good as the first one, but hopefully the third game, which I'm yet to play, can overtop all of them. And also as well, yeah, which is going to be reviewed soon. So if you're into that stuff, then whoosh, pretty funky. Also, I'm planning on doing a Splinter Cell Chaos Theory review. I hope you enjoyed that, because that was probably longer than the first one. And, you know, I really liked this game. Not as good, but like solid 8 out of 10. So, yeah, without further ado, cheerio, au revoir, and goodbye. Ciao.